Hi and welcome to my video. Today's video is going to be the 8th update to the Project 10 Uses Eyeshadows Only edition. In this project I have 5 eyeshadows in at the same time. To roll them out I have to use them 10 times. To roll in new eyeshadows I use Master Promptlist by Laney. If you're interested in checking out Laney, her YouTube channel is linked down in my description. So the first eyeshadow that we'll talk about today rolled in for the prompt a shadow starting with R. And I chose a shadow from my ABH Norvina palette. Here is a shade called Rose Gold. In the last update, I had actually already 9 uses on it, so I only had to use it one more time. Obviously, I did that, and as you can see, I actually hit pan on it as well. I love this shade very much, and I'm so excited to have a pan on it to show how much I love it. So Rose Gold is gonna be rolling out, and at the end of the video, we will roll in a new eyeshadow instead of it. Next, I got the prompt Blue Shimmery Shadow, and I chose a shadow from my Natasha Denona Xenon palette. In here is a shadow called Ebb. Here it is. It is a very dark shimmery blue. I mainly use this as a liner, but as you know, I am trying to hit pan on a black matte eyeshadow that I use as a liner. And I am actually putting basically all of my focus into that black matte eyeshadow right now. So this has only gotten 1 use since the last update. Altogether in this project, it has 4 uses on it. So it's gonna be staying in, but I assume that I'm gonna hit pan on that black shade very soon now, so I can start focusing more on this blue shade. Oh my god, I haven't been swatching. Here are the swatches. This happens way too often. The first one is the shade called Rose Gold, and the second one is the shade called Ebb. The third shade I rolled in for the prompt monochromatic palette, and I chose this little Colourpop quad called Violet It Be, and I chose a shade in here called Love Letter. It is this one. Actually, let me open it. It is this one down here. Since the last update, I have actually used it 4 times, altogether in this project 6 times. And as you can see, there is another pan here. I am actually so excited about this one because I did not expect to hit pan on it so soon. My plans for this shade actually this year is to try and completely use it up because it is broken, this palette, and I am really not interested in these 2 shadows in here. So if I use this one up, I can just basically like declutter this whole palette and get down my numbers. So I'm very excited to see some progress in here. But 4 more uses in this project, and I am gonna love every use that I get out of this shade. Here is what it looks like swatched, a very pale purple. I have mainly been using it on my lower lash line. Once I think I used it in the crease and once in my inner corner as well. We'll see that in the pictures as well. Next up, I got the prompt, a shadow from your least favorite palette, and I chose my Colourpop Cabana Club palette, but I chose a shadow in here that I actually do quite like. It is this pink shade up here called Bikini. I have used it since the last update 6 times, altogether in this project 10 times, so it's gonna be rolling out. Here it is swatched. I mainly use this one on my lower lash line as well, featuring on my actual lid some shades from my Pandat palette for the year. And last up is a shade that I rolled in the last update. It is for the prompt brown matte shadow, and I chose my Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette because it has a lot of browns in here, a lot of browns that I like. I picked out a shade down here called Mesh. It is a light cool toned crease shade. Since the last update, I have used it 7 times, which is actually quite good considering that I had a very similar color in my Pandat palette for the year, but I guess I chose to use this shade instead of my Pandat palette. Surprisingly, that's not what I was expecting at all. Anyway, here it is swatched. Told you, a cool toned crease shade. That one I mainly used on my lower lash line as well, and sometimes, rarely, in my crease. So I guess most of these shades I used on my lower lash line, and therefore there is not that many pictures to take because I usually like to only take pictures of the looks where I use 2 or more of the shadows in this project. But since I basically used all of those as the lower lash line shadow, then I mainly only used 1 shadow per look. But I do have 2 pictures which look very similar, but they are a bit different. So in the first one, I have the shade Mesh in my crease, and I have the purple shade in my inner corner and also on my lower lash line. I actually really enjoyed this as an inner corner. It was a nice pop of color and I am definitely gonna do that more. I absolutely loved it. And in the second look, I have the purple shade on my lower lash line again, and in my outer corner, I have the shade Rose Gold. This is the 10th use that I needed on it and also the use that I hit pan on it. I'm hoping that for the next update I can have more looks, but I guess it all depends on what shades we're gonna be pulling in now. So I'm gonna pull up the master prompt list by Laney and also a random numbers generator on my laptop. So I'm gonna be using the prompt list with duplicate prompts removed. It has 86 prompts in it. Let's generate. We get 23. Let me take a screenshot of it quickly, if I remember how. Yes, I did it. 23 is a green shadow matte. I don't even know if I have any green shadows in my collection. So let me just generate the next number as well, and then I can go check for both of them. 15. 15 is blue shadow matte. Okay, perfect. Let me see what I got. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back already and I have my green matte and I have my blue matte. I think at least. For green, I picked out another one of my Colourpop quads. This one is called Tidal Wave. Here it is. And I think this shade can be considered as green. Here it is. I guess I'll consider it as green and pull it in for 10 uses. I don't know what I'm gonna do with a green shade like that in the middle of like September, but we'll make it work. For blue, I'm going back for my Colourpop Cabana Club palette, because in here there is actually a beautiful dark blue here. So that one is gonna come in for 10 uses as well. This shade is called Pool Party and the green one is called Boardwalk. Let me swatch them for you. So here is the new color story. It is very blue and very cool toned. It's definitely very challenging. I am very nervous. So here is the old color story. A lot more warm toned and pinkier, and here is the new color story. So most of these shades I cannot wear to work or to school. I can use this one and maybe this one as well. And if I use this and this as a liner, maybe I can pull them off, but I'm not too sure about that. But the green definitely not work appropriate. For the next update, I guess I'm gonna have the shade called Mesh out and the purple shade as well. I'm gonna have more uses on Ebb, but I don't think I'm gonna have it out completely. And these two will probably only have like 1 or 2 uses on them. It would have been a lot better for January, I feel like. It is more like those cool toned January colors. But at the same time, it is starting to rain here now, like actual fall rain. So blue will go with the rain. I don't know, it is very orange outside and very warm toned, and I'm gonna be wearing like blues and greens on my eyes. From this bluey greeny quad, I do actually have the inner corner shade in another project in my deck of panning project as well. So just bluey greeny all around. But I guess that is it for today's update. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing as well. Thank you so much and bye bye.